Please note, the following podcast includes discussions about self-harm and suicide. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Doctor Who Reviews, and we've done it again, folks. Breaking news edition.
Wait for this news because it's legendary. I don't know. I never saw the show.
Literally 20 minutes after we were due to start, before we were due to start the podcast, I should say, they dropped another casting announcement for the 60th anniversary. We'll talk about that in a minute. Firstly, my two usual co-hosts. Firstly, to my virtual left, he can be your sweet dream or your beautiful nightmare. It's Freezing Inferno.
Hello.
And to my virtual right, sweet dreams are made of this. What is this? You don't want to know. It's Kuchiri.
So, Sweet Dreams and Nightmares, is that a reference to a deck you went against the other day?
Oh my god.
I wasn't going to say it out loud, but then he just did it.
I've been waiting for about a year to say this. He just blurted it out. How dare he?
We gotta do another one of those fun duel days.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yes.
They were fun.
Yes, we do.
There's a reason why I'm now named Risky Play trademark on Twitter. Watch the two videos and it'll all be revealed.
Yes. Watch the card game. Breaking news.
Neil Patrick Harris is in Doctor Who?
Wow. What 10-year character is he playing?
Oh, stop it.
Stop it.
He can be an original character.
What? Original characters? In this pop culture climate? You're crazy.
Look, the last casting announcement was literally an original character. Granted, named after Rose, but still an original character.
I got a theory about that.
Okay.
A game theory! No.
No, technically this would be a film theory. This is the secret third episode that was never released. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
I dare anyone sure not to map that.
Anyway, here's how I gave the Pope a mirror.
God damn it.
But yeah, Neil Patrick Harris.
So we know there's been a lot of filming going on, a lot of leaks and stuff like that, and I think that's done on purpose.
I'm not mentioning the Absolutely Gonzo one, but there is an Absolutely Gonzo one that came out like a week or so ago. I'm keeping hush on it, just for your benefit. We've
already been told by RTD that he will send out fake spoilers and try to drive up the news about this. This is what he's trying to do. He is trying to make everyone freak out about what might happen, right?
I mean, it's a better ploy than Chibnall going, I'll fucking kill you before I tell you anything about the episode's airing date.
I think everything that's been shown filming in Cardiff is a red herring.
I would not put it past RTD to do that, no.
So this is my theory. I don't think I've said this on any of the reviews yet, but this is what I've been talking to you guys about. I think we're going to see bits of a show within a show. I think everything that we're seeing in these like leaks and spoilers is going to be like a fictional version of Doctor Who that may be playing on TVs in the background of episodes, and maybe the 14th Doctor gets trapped in that reality somehow and has to team up with this fake tenant, which I'm going to be calling Professor What.
Professor What? But then, how does Neil Patrick Harris fit into this then?
That picture that they showed, clearly Harris kind of looks like a villain. Kind of looks like the promotional image of Jacoby from way back when.
So you think he's this fictional universe's version of the Master then?
Yeah. Or, apparently there's another theory going around that Fresno brought up right before we started recording that could also fit.
Well, post the comparison tweet, right? Courtesy of @Mac
Kashevsky. Matt Kashevsky.
I cannot say your name
Matt
for the life of you, but you are very good people. You are very good people. You're very good.
They have some good takes on Twitter about Doctor Who.
Yeah, they're in that Eruditon press circle, so you know, a friend of the show.
I don't know if they actually listened to it, but yes.
Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, this comparison, if you are not familiar with your 60s Doctor Who, the fellow on the right is the master of the land of fiction from the second Doctor story, The Mind Robber, which took place in the land of fiction, which I was telling Kuchiri before the show since he hadn't seen it, and you should seek it out. It's a good Gonzo second Doctor serial where they get trapped in a land of fiction where every like literary character and mythological character, I can talk, is real. So they encounter people like Gulliver from Gulliver's Travels, Rapunzel, a Medusa and a Minotaur, and there's a lot of other interesting stuff that goes on in that story. But the point is, fictional characters are real, and you can interact with them in the land of fiction.
So that kind of could be part of my theory. Let's say this Professor What, maybe they took some of these alien events and like someone decided to make a show because they've seen this mysterious man with the box. We know there's always been fan theories about Doctor Who. What if someone just took a fan theory, made it an actual show, and it's like this hit show starring the actors David Tennant and Catherine Tate? The Rose in this show is actually meant to be the Billy Piper Rose because someone overheard the name Rose once. They didn't know who it belonged to. Maybe she's meant to. Maybe they saw Martha and thought she was called Rose, which is why we have an African American actress playing Rose.
I'm not saying that your theory is correct, but if it is, my God, what if having Rose cast as Jasmine Lily is like almost like a commentary by RTD, like, oh, you know, when people complain that, should we say, coloured people of colour take over roles.
Oh yeah, complaining about forced diversity.
Yeah, could that be what he's going for here?
That would be
easily. I mean, that's what
that would
he
be
did.
some wild meta commentary. Yeah,
I mean,
I
that's
will
what
say,
he
by
did.
the way, that sometimes the diversity does not work because the Amber Lynn documentary starring a coloured actress, that was terrible, but not because the actress was coloured. It was just really, really bad.
I mean, RTD did this in the mid 2000s with all of his commentary on LGBTQ in shows and stuff, and
Yeah.
I mean, so honestly, I wouldn't put it past him.
Also, Amber Lynn, was historically definitely not a person of colour, so I can sort of see why people got upset with that specific thing. But it doesn't matter because the show itself
they
is just
get
terrible.
upset about every fucking thing. Like, fucking.
Welcome to the internet.
Throw a random example out of the hat. Star Wars.
No, I'm talking about historical examples of real people. And even that's not safe at the moment now, is it? Because look at Hamilton, look at Six.
Exactly, so fucking who gives a shit? But
yeah,
anyway,
yes.
But anyway, if it is like that, would be some good meta commentary, and it would reflect the real world and real world concerns. Kind of like how I am pining for Doctor Who to be. So that would actually be somewhat interesting and relevant, rather than, oh look, it's those aliens you remember from the 70s. And also, it's that man you remember from 2008, when the show was good.
Oh, hey, we forgot that lesbians exist, so let's make our characters lesbians now.
Kuchiri.
Good. Good. More lesbians in fiction, please.
I mean, you've not been paying attention to fiction, have you?
I said more lesbians in fiction.
There's
please.
already quite a lot of lesbians in fiction. But yeah, all right, the more the merrier.
I'm like that Aaron Hansen gif where they're shoving fucking M&Ms in his mouth. More.
You're like that poor buddy from Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh god.
The kitty gets the milkshake. The bunny gets the pancake.
How many lesbians do you want? Is this too much for you?
Yeah, no. The thing is, I think we're going to be in great hands. And, I'm interested in seeing Yasmin as a companion. But, well, okay, let's say this one. So let's say this isn't the world of fiction. It's just a show being filmed.
Yeah.
like, what if Yasmin, like, what if Rose isn't her real name and her real name is something else, and the 14th Doctor, that's how he gets his first companion? I mean, this feels like it's a show being filmed on a low budget because they pointed out other practical effects being used in these leaks. I'm not going to go into any details, but
I mean, you point that out, yeah.
yeah. But the thing is, like, we also got to remember they do own this massive set that was used on the Avengers. They can be anywhere they want to be in a full 3D environment and look like they're really there.
So they can just green screen whatever the hell.
Yeah. And I would not be surprised if that's where most of the main part of the episode is being filmed, and that's why I'm also saying this is mostly a red herring out on the streets, because they know showing Tennant and Wilt and all this, like, they know people are going to take pictures and put them online. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if RTD has taken half the pictures that have been leaked.
That would certainly be a marketing ploy. I mean, it would be marketing unlike what that Chibnall era has been doing.
I mean, he said it himself, like, half the theories and rumors out there was him. He probably was the one that started the David Tennant as the 14th Doctor rumor because he knew he was going to have David Tennant back.
Except for James Corden. He specifically denied James Corden, which is hilarious.
I want to say again, I want to remind you all that, like, a couple of weeks before Flux, they deleted their social media.
Also hilarious.
And it completely fucked up their net. It was like some forget what Blu-ray. It was the Tom Baker series Blu-ray that got a trailer the day before. So they're completely at odds with each other, deleting the social media presence to hype up the show, which is just the dumbest fucking thing imaginable. But anyway, yeah. And I would be interested if Kuchiri's theory was right. That would make some very interesting meta commentary. It'd be an interesting way to play the 60th. I would actually be interested in it, rather than, straight up, oh no, I've unregenerated in the David Tennant. I'd better spend the next year of real time finding out why I've done that.
I'm interested in what happens in the 60th anniversary specials, or whatever, however many there are anyway, but this would be very interesting, yes.
And if I'm not right, RTD, contact my agent. I can help out with some stories. Shit, I don't have an agent. Rainiac, you're my agent now.
I'm your agent now, am I? You are so screwed. I could barely organize myself, let alone another person.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get the job. Anyway, you want to talk about Amy's choice?
Yeah. Also, by the way, the correct answer to my question was, of course, no. No, you can't have enough. You can never have enough. Yeah. Just to clarify that. So Amy's choice, yeah, we go from talking about a show within a show and, not all being as it seems, to another story where all things are not quite as they seem. Amy's choice. The 7th episode of Series 5.
You're letting that American slip.
Yeah.
By God, soon you'll be talking like this next.
I have no idea what you mean.
There you go.
Apologies to any Americans who heard that.
There's another feather in the conspiracy cap.
You're right. You were absolutely right. But conspiracies on this show, never. Never happens. Polly doesn't just take that and make it a running gag for 6 years.
That's okay. I didn't just take mirror imagery from Jane Campbell and keep it running for 8 years.
Yeah, but now I've beaten it in a card game, so you can never use it against me again. Checkmate, atheist. Right.
Checkmate. Oh, yeah? You just wait.
No, I'm sure you can. I mean, hell, there is a very, very real example of a mirror in this story.
And not only this, it's also basically mirrors something that just happens over and over again between series 5 through 7. With
Absolutely,
Amy,
which is why I picked it.
I know. It does all those things and more. And I will say at the top, if you would like to read another take on not just Amy's choice, but all the other moments in Amy and Rory's time that echo forward, why don't you buy Back to the 11th Hour, Volumes 1 and 2 by Krista McTeer on Amazon.com?
Yes, why don't you do that? Link in the description below. So yeah, this is the seventh episode of Series 5, and we haven't really touched too much on Series 5 on this show so far. It is a stellar series. Just wall-to-wall hits.
I said this many times, especially back when we started these podcasts. Like, every single episode's in my top 20 favorite episodes. Like,
even like Victory and Lodger.
Yeah.
The Lodger is not for me, but that's just because I'm not a fan of James Corden.
Well, I didn't know how much of a dickwad he was until recently, but I still think it's an enjoyable episode.
I mean, my main objection is the writer these days.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Thankfully, this writer is not, as far as we know,
this is their only Doctor Who. This is their only Doctor Who credit.
Not a bad one to be credited on, though.
No, it's not. But I mean, I do think that there had to be some Moffat in here, just because either there was some Moffat in here, or he really echoed with this story going forward with his arcs. Because
it might be one of those things where Moffat as a showrunner explained during the season 5 planning that he wanted a bunch of, stuff between Amy and Rory, and like drama, like her ultimate decision between her and the Doctor, because early on this season, like, it's clear that Amy had a crush on the Doctor. In fact, what was it, like 2 episodes before this, she tried.
Yeah. This is like, actually, I feel like this is kind of the end of a trilogy in that respect. You've got the end of the Angel two-parter, where she flat out comes on to the Doctor and tries to make out with him after her like near-death experience at the hand of the Angels. And then you got Vampires of Venice, where he's like, "Hey, Rory, your fiance tried to kiss me. Let's go to Venice and try and make you two a happy couple." And then we have this, which is like, "Oh, Amy, you've got to choose between this man and that man. Make your choice."
And the thing is, Moffat has came out and said that he wished he didn't write Amy this way, like way after the fact.
I mean, there's a lot of shall we say, prickly bits involving Amy's writing that we'll get into, but Karen Gillan plays it as a class act, and there's really some clever stuff going on under the hood. But we got to get into it so one of y'all get into it.
Yes, let's get into it. I was just distracted there because at that moment my dad came in and asked me if I like a jelly baby.
Holy shit, your dad's Tom Baker?
No, I think he was trying to get on the podcast.
He knew it was a Doctor Who thing, so
he doesn't like this show at all. He thinks the show is terrible, so I don't know why he's trying to get on the podcast.
Well, we do need a fourth hosted because we're missing cats.
No, that's never happening.
That's a great blooper. Anyway,
I'm fine with making random cameos like that. I'm not fine with being a fool.
Remember the time we heard him singing on air?
Oh, that was amazing. It didn't go through the recording, unfortunately, but you all heard it, so I have witnesses.
It's HDMI 2 than BBC 2.
You're close, but anyway. So we begin in a quaint English village, and a very pregnant Amy. I mean, heavily pregnant Amy. She's making cake mixture. Then she thinks that the baby is coming, but then there's a cute bit where Rory runs in on his bicycle and there's like, "Rory, it's starting." "Oh, it's okay, false alarm." She's eating the cake mixture. And Karen Gillan has said that this fat suit, the bump she had to wear, it was one of her favourite parts of Series 5. Because it made her feel more mature when she was wearing it. And I think the quote on TARDIS Wiki must be wrong, because it says made her act irresponsibly. I think act less irresponsible would make more sense.
Made her act not entirely villainous.
Just getting all the tropes out today.
Keeping the tropes alive!
Mirrors, my dad being a goof. And
No. Don't you worry, the mirrors are coming.
And not entirely villainous. Remember 2008 the show was good. Any more that we can throw in there? No? Good. Let's carry on. Yeah, the mirrors are definitely coming. The Doctor then arrives. We get some fun comedy.
There you go. That's your.
Some fun comedy. There is no. Well, actually, there is a kind of a fight in this story, isn't there?
I just got a meme out there for the sake of it.
Insert piercing scream here. So
don't worry, Ray, we're all keeping the tropes alive.
You're about 30 seconds too late. He already said that. We get some fun jokes about the bump. The Doctor comes out of the TARDIS. He steps on Amy's thighs. Rory's like, "Oh, she is going to kill you." And then Amy turns up, and he's like, "Oh, you've swallowed a planet."
Okay, I gotta say it. All the jokes about Amy's bump, Amy, you're big and you're round and you're fat and pregnant. It's kind of prickly and doesn't really sit right with me. But Karen Gillan isn't having it. Amy Pond isn't having it. Like she pushes back against that shit. That's something.
I don't think this is fanophobic. I think this is just, played for laughs.
It's not just that. That's how people just talk to pregnant women in general.
It's like at one point Rory calls her like chubs, and it's like
that's more, but
there's lines like that, like half a dozen or so peppered through.
It is generally accepted though that when women get pregnant, they do grow in size, and it's no fault of their own. And
yeah, but don't fucking rib them for it.
I mean, again,
I think it's like case by case though. Like Amy is known to be like not like polite all the time. I don't know the best way to phrase it, but that's probably how her and Roy joke around 5 years into their marriage of being pregnant.
Mm.
And we get a bit of explanation. Sorry.
All that. Oh wow, Amy, you got all elephanty. Oh, you're all boaty. It's like, I get it. I mean, it's one thing if Rory says this little playful thing, but the Doctor says it too, and it's like.
I think it's more understandable with the Doctor because he is an alien. He doesn't perhaps know the correct protocol in this situation. Rory's got no excuse.
You know who didn't know the correct protocol also is an alien and also gets called on their bullshit. The 12th Doctor with Clara.
Yes, true.
So like
true.
And hey, you know who else doesn't know their protocol and didn't get called on it? The 6th Doctor.
All right. Fair enough. But we get a bit of explanation for where we are. This is Upper Ledworth. They've gone up market. In the year 2015, and the show came out in 2010, so it's 5 years into the future.
5 years after they stopped traveling in the TARDIS.
We get a bit of talk about how it's very nice, very restful here. People live for absolutely ever. I mean, there's a lot of old people. They're all in the 90s. They're all very fit and healthy. Obviously, it's good to live here. What do you do then, Amy and Rory? Oh, we're bored. No. We relax. You relax. Yeah, we live. We listen to the birds. Yeah, birds. Those are nice, says Amy. And then you start hearing tweeting of birds.
There's a line that kind of foreshadows something.
All right.
Because when you're thinking he's about to say boredom, he says something like hurt yourself.
Oh, yeah.
What do you do to not...
stave off the boredom? Self-harm.
Yeah. Which... Let's make sure we get this whole trigger warning now because this is actually a theme of this episode.
Yeah. We've done it again because we had to slap a big ass trigger warning last time.
Yeah,
but
now you think about it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a foreshadowing about something that comes up later on. Let's not talk about it now. But
there's a lot of foreshadowing, not just for this particular story, but also for the series that's coming up.
I don't know if you could even call it foreshadowing because I don't know how much Moffat had planned ahead. But yeah,
we knew he planned a lot ahead.
He had the entire River Song thing planned out.
How did I put it to Krista? Hang on. Oh yeah, it's later because this happy facade goes away and it's like, Amy and Rory just want a happy life with their baby, and then all sorts of space alien shit comes and rips it all from them.
Yeah, that's not a bad way of describing this.
Which is basically the plot to Series 6.
Yeah. But anyway, after the bird song, everyone falls asleep. Amy, Rory the Doctor spark out like a light, and they wake up on the TARDIS floor, and Amy is no longer pregnant.
So, it's following along from the previous time we would see. So it's like 2010, Amy and Rory and Doctor Who.
And we get more, discussion about the dream they just had. The Doctor said he had a nightmare, which is interesting. And Rory said, well, that's strange, because I had a pleasant little dream. We were married, we were in a village, we were about to have a baby. Amy says, hang on a minute, I had the same dream too. Interesting, the Doctor calls it a nightmare, don't you think?
Well,
and they call it a dream. Because it's a nightmare for him, because he was thinking they were going to leave him, or they had left him. It's a dream for them because it's a nice, happy, idyllic life living out their lives together. Foreshadowing for Angels Take Manhattan, would you believe?
Which there will be more of that coming along.
Yeah,
trust me.
That one I think is not intentional. I think Angels was not originally planned to be there.
There's no way Angels was planned. I don't believe it.
Because we know there was a whole half of the series that was scrapped. Involving Amy and Rory. Because Karen Gillan wanted to leave.
But I'll be damned if it doesn't resonate forward with it.
It definitely resonates.
Mm-hmm.
But the upshot is they all had the same exact dream at the same time. Which, in the real world, that is impossible because dreams are generated by your own subconscious. So it'd be a huge coincidence if you all had the same dream at the exact same time. And it doesn't matter because here's the birds again, and suddenly they're back in the village. Getting used to this, jumping back between the TARDIS and the village.
Yeah.
This could almost be... Oh no, wait, that gives away something for later on, never mind. There's also a lot of talking in the early part of this episode to set it up, which might turn some people off. I'm fine with it.
I like talking. Talk away.
Yeah, but some people don't like just talking exposition all the time.
I mean, this is kind of, a budget-saving episode where it's just TARDIS set and location in Ledworth.
It could be the one they used to save the budget, yes.
But it works.
It's still very effective as an episode.
Absolutely.
In fact, if this is down to budget constraints, I think this is a good example of budget constraints actually helping it out. Allowing creativity to run wild.
I mean, would this be kind of considered, what do they call episodes like Midnight?
A bottle episode.
Yeah, because technically they're still in one area, even though there's multiple settings.
You've just got, that's what I was going to say, and I was going to not mention that till we got to the bit where two dream, one dream, one reality, but it's fine, yeah. This is technically not a bottle episode. Because while everything takes place in the TARDIS for the characters, there are two different locations and two different sets.
Yeah.
It's also not a Doctor or a companion light, because they are together for quite a bit of the time. Midnight is a companion light, you're right about that. It's also amazing, but we've already covered that. Yeah,
and it also all takes place in one setting. So yeah.
Apart from the scenes at the spa at the beginning and the end to start and end it, but yes. One setting, but technically two. For the characters, it's one setting. For the audience, it's two.
Anyway, the point is, wait a minute. I thought that was a dream, but is this a dream? This must be real. So what's a dream and what's not? What's going on? And unfortunately, as they wake up back in the TARDIS, she totally powers down.
Yep. And we get a fun bit where some TARDIS lore is like, Amy said, shall I go and get the manual? You can't, I threw it in a supernova. Why? Because I disagree with it. Stop talking to me when I'm cross. The dialogue here is really, really good throughout.
I love it. Like as they're falling asleep in the TARDIS, Amy is like, "Okay, okay. When we fall asleep, we need to focus. We just need to focus on how real this feels. This is definitely real. And so when we fall asleep, we'll just focus on how unreal that is, and then we'll know for sure that this is real and that was a dream. And then they wake up and Leberman's like, "Oh yeah, this is real. This is absolutely real. This feels real. This is the real one for sure."
We start getting a little bit of a like 3 votes. So like the Doctor feels the TARDIS is more real, Rory feels the town is more real, and Amy's like they're both real to me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
That is a very interesting way to divide the perspective.
We then established that Rory in this reality, in the upper level of reality, isn't a nurse anymore. He's a doctor.
Like he always dreamed.
Subtlety is not this episode's strongest suit, but no, it's very well put together, and you do catch things the second and third time you watch it that you didn't see the first time round.
Well, I already know like the big thing going in, and most of you probably do too, because this is a 12-year-old who.
Yeah, but what I mean is, you watch it for the very first time. You just take it on its own merits as an episode. You might enjoy it, might not enjoy it. You watch it a second time, you notice parallels between this and other stories. Watch it a third time, and then you spot that foreshadowing thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you watch it like now after the 11th Doctor is well and truly done. I mean, it echoes back to, like you said, not just Series 6, but it echoes forward to Angels Take Manhattan, for sure.
But Rory is a doctor. There's also quite a funny exchange where Rory's talking to some old people, and he tries to pass the Doctor off as his junior. Again, maybe that's in his dream.
But then they fall asleep again.
Maybe that's Rory's dream to be better than the Doctor, to be
back on the time,
more important than the Doctor. But back on the TARDIS. Here's where we get the reason I picked this whole episode.
Well, first of all, I have to say that they're cold. But now, please go on. The MVP of the story.
Yes, they're cold, but then the MVP of the story walks into the TARDIS. I mean, literally walks into the TARDIS. Say hello, everybody, to the Dream Lord, played by the wonderful Toby Jones.
Excellent Dylan here.
He's a great actor. He really is.
He's perfect in this. I mean, here he is, just this bow tie wearing bastard taunting them.
Very similar outfit. In fact, the Doctor compliments it.
Yeah, his exchanges between him and Matt Smith are wonderful throughout this.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, because it's like, oh, well, that took a while. I've heard such good things about you. Last of the Time Lords, the oncoming storm, him in the bow tie. He really taunts the Doctor throughout this. He really pushes his buttons, gets under his skin.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that. But he doesn't just save his wrath for the Doctor. He also turns it on Amy and Rory. He's really rude to poor old Rory. He calls him a gooseberry. He calls him an idiot.
Rory's like, if anyone's a gooseberry around here, it's the Doctor. Well, now that's a delusion I'm not responsible for.
That's a great line.
But here's a line that... Now, I know you just said it's great on first view, but then the second view, you need these things. I've got the transcript up here, and I would like to read directly from it, if I would.
I mean, that's what I've been doing, so yeah.
Yeah, but I just want to quote this bit. The Dream Lord says to Amy, "Oh, Amy, you have to sort your men out. Choose even." And Amy says, "I have chosen. Of course I've chosen." And she's standing between the Doctor and Rory, and there's a beat here. And then she reaches over and she just lightly slaps Rory because he looks concerned. And she's like, "It's you, stupid." And it's like, that was Amy's choice. She just, like, we're only like 12 minutes in, but that's it.
Yeah.
She just fucking did it.
Again, foreshadowing.
I mean, it's like Amy's choice, you could say, is a question hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, you could.
But as pointed out by the Dream Lord, oh, I know. I've seen all your dreams twice. You know,
Yeah,
Which
another
sounds
great
a little
line.
racy right there. Woo!
Yeah, blimey, I'd blush if I had a blood supply or a real face. Because they're basically playing off the incorporeal nature of the Dream Lord, because he keeps teleporting everywhere in the TARDIS. He also gets a really interesting exchange between the Doctor and himself regarding, eccentricities. Yes. What's the line? Doctor, where'd you pick up this cheap cabaret at? Me? Oh, you're on shaky ground. If you had any more tawdry quirks, you could have a tawdry quirks shop. The madcap vehicle, the cockanamie hair, the clothes designed by a first-year fashion student. I suppose you haven't got a little purple space dog just to ram home what intergalactic wag you are.
Yeah, God.
Which is interesting, because at the same time this was going out, an episode of K9 was premiering in the UK.
Australian K9?
Australian K9, yeah.
Oh my God. Wow.
I don't know which one it was. I know we've seen it.
Oh,
we've talked about it on the show, but I don't know which one it was.
Oh God! Please don't tell me it was that fucking Egyptian one.
It was not the Egyptian one, I don't think.
Oh, thank Christ!
I'll look into that. I'll look into that in a minute, because here's the whole point of the episode. Then the Dream Lord has a challenge to set the three of them. There's two worlds here in the time machine, and there in the village time forgot. One's real, the other is fake. And to make things more interesting, you're both going to face a deadly danger in each of the worlds, but only one of the dangers is real. And then it says, tweet, tweet, time to sleep. Oh, or are you waking up? And the Doctor valiantly tries to stay awake.
One of us tell only truths, the other one tell only lies.
Oh my God, not the two guards. Not the two guards riddle again.
Oh, the two guards riddle is so easy. All you do is ask the guy. If I ask the other guy which one was the door, what would he say?
And then do the opposite, whatever he says.
Yeah.
That's the important bit that a lot of people don't get. You've got to do the opposite.
Mm.
If he points to one door, you go to the other one. And then you're safe. But, yeah.
But what if both guards are actually lying the entire time? Dun, dun, dun.
Then the riddle is nonsense.
Mm.
And you can't win. And in that way, I suppose it's more relevant to real life.
Interesting that you would say that, but anyway, let's go back to the episode.
God, that's depressing as hell, isn't it?
I love that the Dream Lord comes in immediately on the old folks' home in Upper Leavenworth, and he's got X-rays. Oh, this is bad. Look at this X-ray. Your brain's completely see-through.
Yeah.
But then, I've always been able to see through you, Doctor. And he gets another great line, too, that I love, and it's lived rent-free with me. It's like, if you die in the dream, you'll wake up in reality. And he looks at Rory and says, ask him what happens if you die in reality. What happens? You die, stupid! That's why it's called reality!
They put that in the trailer, it was so good. That's how I knew I was going to like this from the very beginning, was the trailer for the previous week.
Mm.
It's just really, really well put together.
And so, after laying down the gauntlet, Maury vanishes, and the Doctor's like, I don't know who he is, big universe. I'm not sure what he's up to, what deadly danger we're going to have to face. Oh, hey, what happened to all the old people?
They've gone. They've all gone. Anyway, you two can take the scene with the children while I go and look for something.
I want to highlight another scene that happens immediately after with Amy, actually, because so this is Amy's choice, and it's all about you have to choose, but so it's very much focused on Amy's agency, and she makes that abundantly clear in the next scene where they're rambling and talking about, okay, we got to talk about this bullshit and figure out what to do, and both of the guys are trying to figure out what the fuck to do, and Amy starts going, oh no! Ah!
Yeah, she pretends she's going into labor. Both Rory and Doctor freaked out, and she's like, this is my life, and then she just stops.
Yeah, because the Doctor called the village dull because, I can't think because this village is so dull. And then Amy does that and gets them all excited, and she's like, okay, yeah, this is my life now. It turns you white as a sheet, so don't call it dull ever again, got it?
Okay, the episode in question of Australian K9 we haven't got to yet.
I see.
It's the Cambridge Spy, but at the same day, an episode did air in Australia that we have seen.
Which one was that?
The Fall of the House of Griffin.
Well, that was a good one, I think.
That was a very good one.
What one was that again?
Isn't that the one where his family return as ghosts?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's kind of heartbreaking, actually.
Yeah, it's a sad one. Ooh.
Yeah, this episode aired the same day as the K9 episode The Cambridge Spy was first broadcast on Disney XD in Britain. It also aired on the same day. Okay, so it might not be the same day, the same year. It just says the same day.
Right.
And no, never mind. 22nd of February, 2010. So The Fall of the House of Griffin was broadcast on Australian TV the exact same day.
Wow.
Interesting. But yeah, the whole thing about, this is my life now, and that is interesting. Very interesting, because that's going to parallel what we see later on. But something is definitely not right with the old people.
Oh, it isn't.
No. The Doctor keeps referring to them as an elephant in the room, and again they joke about Amy
and again,
pregnancy.
Amy got a big baby bump. She's round and large.
Yeah, the more I take this through with you, maybe you had a point.
Yeah.
Maybe they take it a bit too far.
I do appreciate the Karen Gillan. Amy is like having none of it. It's like, oh wait, cut it out. But they turn the joke around on Rory. It's like, no, I meant Rory's ponytail,
which is honestly bad.
It's very bad. I don't know why he chose to grow it, but we're back in the TARDIS again because here are the birds one more time. It's getting really cold now, really, really cold, and the minds turn into which is real and which is fake. And Rory has definitely decided that the upper level of life is the actual life. It's the life he wants, because they're happy, married, and about to have a baby. Amy seems to be leaning more towards the TARDIS being the real world, and the Doctor is definitely convinced that the TARDIS is the real world. We then get a bit more Heath Robinson. I always love when the Doctor does this, like Heath Robinson's a gadget together. He doesn't do it so much in the modern series. We see it more in like the Pertwee era.
You're thinking of that fucking wine bottle thing from the time.
That's so wonderfully goofy, isn't it?
That's so good. I love that fucking story. I mean, I'm surprisingly, like, I don't like the Atlantis stuff nearly as much as the other Gonzo goofy bullshit in that, but it is a fun story. But you skipped over a main emotional beat in this episode, this conversation between Rory and Amy.
So I did.
Which, if I may, because they have a little talk about, how they're going to freeze to death and the Doctor will fix it. And Rory mentions, aren't we going to get married? Yeah, we'll get married someday. Oh, but do you want to anymore? I thought you chose me, not him. Well, you're being insecure. You ran off with another man. Not in that way. It was the night before our wedding. We're in a time machine. It could be the night before our wedding for as long as we want. We have to grow up eventually. Says who?
Yeah, again, big parallels with Angel Take
Which, I mean, and the episode being Amy's choice, the two choices here are, running off with Peter Pan to Never Never Land, Doctor Who, in the TARDIS, never growing up, or growing up, the sweet, simple, no adventure domestic life with Rory Williams.
Or why not both?
Why not both? Maybe the episode will be about that.
Perhaps. Perhaps it will.
And now I have reacted to the GIF, and it must be included.
I need to find the full GIF where, like, after she says that, they're like celebrating.
Yeah!
Yay!
Yes, we remember this 20-year-old commercial for tacos.
I was going to go with the Road to El Dorado, but
both is good.
Oh, there's the full version of it.
Oh, you got it good.
Which I've genuinely never seen before until today.
Oh, we have both. Yay!
Oh yeah, no, it was like some sort of weird salsa commercial.
No, yeah, I don't know. It was for like Old El Paso taco something, or I think it was
Yeah.
for soft shells or hard shells. And it's like, do we want soft shell tacos? Do we want hard shell tacos? Why don't we have both? Yay! Introducing this taco kit that has soft shells and hard shells, so you can choose.
Remember 2002 when commercials were good?
Stop
Anyway.
it!
All right. Well, the Doctor basically has Rory spin an egg beater for a bit to power the TARDIS to get the view screen back up. And what they see is this big blue star that they're approaching. Oh no, it's a cold star out in space.
Well, originally it's called a cold sun.
Cold sun.
That's the danger in this version of their version of
reality.
I mean, and Amy's now convinced. Well, hang on a minute. That proves it, doesn't it? This is the dream because there's no such thing as a cold star.
Is there? Is there really? I don't know.
No, I've not seen everything, but again, another common theme with the Doctor that he's not seen everything.
Rory calls out the Doctor because, oh, this is so you, isn't it? I've never before seen bullshit.
He does, doesn't he? Also, there's a lot of talk about the battle that we have to lose.
And I do love that Rory just says, oh, it's a weird new star. We got 14 minutes left to live and only one man to save the day. I just wanted a nice village and a family.
Yeah, and then the Dream Lord turns up and starts doing limericks. Oh dear Doctor, descent in the ranks. There was an old doctor from Gallifrey who ended up throwing his life away. He let down his friend's hand, and at that moment, mercifully, the birds interrupt him.
I do like how every time he shows up, he's in a completely different outfit.
Yeah. And the Doctor has two different outfits as well.
Mm-hmm.
A maroon version and... I want to say a green version. Is it a blue version? What says the production notes?
Anyway, well, while you find that,
teal
why don't we talk about
a teal version up at Ledworth, a maroon version in the TARDIS.
Why don't we talk about one of the darkest fucking things this episode does? So,
oh my god,
the last time we were in Ledworth, there were like kids, and they were like on I don't know, they were like on a school trip or something, just playing around near this castle. And then one of the old people approached, and then they fell asleep, and they did the TARDIS scene. Now they're back in Upper Ledworth. It's completely quiet, and there were just piles of dust around, and the Doctor's examining them, and it's like, what happened to all the kids? Where are all the kids? Playtime's definitely over.
Oh my god.
They got Thanos!
They did.
Yeah. There you go.
This is dark as hell, and it's even darker that they don't show it. Because it allows your imagination to run wild. You know, did they suffer? What the hell did this to them? Are they dead? Or they've just moved to another dimension? What the hell's happened here?
They're dead. No, they're dead.
No, they're dead.
They are dead as shit. But I mean, if it's a dream, were they real to begin with? Ooh, that's something to think about too.
So what happened to the children? The old people did. It's like a much darker version of that bit from The Simpsons where the old people take over the town.
God.
And I love how at this point they start showing all these old people in the background like very menacingly. It almost feels like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Excellent film, that.
Amy gets a really dark joke here as well. She says, would I be happy settling down in a place with a pub, 2 shops, and a really bad amateur domestic society? That's why I got pregnant, so I don't have to see him doing Oklahoma.
My God.
The dialogue is so on point with this whole time. Then the Dream Lord shows up. He gets a line about Elizabeth I.
That's really calling
for. She talks about Elizabeth I. Well, she thought she was the first. We've had that joke before, Dream Lord. You're about a year too late.
And we'll have it again.
Yes, we will.
3 years' time.
Yeah. Good Queen Bess. Let me tell you, her nickname is no longer... Anyway, as I was saying,
But the Doctor is very confrontational. It's just like, you leave her alone. Ooh, I love when he does that.
I know who you are.
Yeah. Of course I know who you are. I have no idea who you can be here, but there's only one person in the universe who hates me as much as you do.
And you're meant to think is this like an old returning villain or what?
Is this the Master?
Oh, I mean, him playing the Master would have been great. Just saying.
He would have been a fantastic Master, but the Masters can't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that at the time, particularly like in the Classic Who, people might have thought the Valeyard.
Yeah, that was a rumor that he was the Valeyard, which is not too far from the mark, actually.
I mean,
as you'll find out.
You want to talk about going forward? You want to talk about foreshadowing forward? How about near the end of Smith's tenure when we realized that he's the final incarnation, and the Valeyard was supposed to be between the 12th and final incarnation.
Also, the name of the Doctor, which, this whole thing about him being.
We found out the Doctor has infinite incarnation, so that doesn't matter.
Well, it mattered back then before we got retcons.
And hopefully one day it will matter again, but for now it doesn't matter.
We had to make the brain of Morbius canon. It's Morbin times.
I was going to say that.
Yes, keeping the trope alive. Anyway, old people. Rory approaches them and tries to see what's going on, and one of them just picks him up and throws him aside. Like, oh.
Yeah, and these old people have lived a very long time. Like, impossibly long.
Because they're possessed by aliens.
My Grandma, what a big eye in the middle of your mouth you have.
Yeah.
All the better to dissolve you with, my dear.
They're called the Echnidines.
The Echnidines, yeah.
And you've got it's almost like a Tennant era sort of story thing in a way. We fled our destroyed planet and we're taking refuge in these bodies, and now we'll take over this world.
It's the Gelf. It's literally the Gelf.
Yeah, like half the fucking villains during the Tennant era were like, our planet was destroyed in the Time War, and now we'll take over planet Earth. It's, it's stuck.
It wasn't so much as Tennant as RTD in general, because it happens quite a bit in the first Doctor.
It happens in Eccleston.
In the Ninth Doctor's time as well, yeah.
RTG in general. You're right. We'll
but these Echnidines are supposed to be a proud and ancient race, and Dr. Skolsman says, you're better than this. Why are you doing this?
We must survive. And also, they can spit like green shit that turns you into dust.
It's their breath.
Yeah.
And they demonstrate this on a paperboy that's on a bicycle that, some reason, saw all this and thought, this is the best time to walk past.
I mean, they're just, it's just, the old people are out for the day. I'll just go by and, whoop! I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
He was only 2 weeks away from retiring his paper round.
Oh. No, we forgot to mention his grandchild.
And his gay lover.
Exactly. Wow, Moffat, you're slacking. Jesus Christ.
I feel bad just saying that. I'm sorry.
I need to wash
You should feel bad. Just saying.
I need to wash my mouth out.
Yes, please do that.
The fucking Chibnall era sucks so much for that.
While you're doing that, Rory plays whack an old person.
I can't hit her. Hit her, Rory! I can't do it. For the Lord, hit her, whamp!
No.
Yeah, that's the time to play it.
What?
If only someone was in charge of the editing. Oh wait, I am.
But the Doctor, meanwhile, he's been separated from Amy and Rory, and it's an iconic. Hang on, can I find that GIF to post?
Why is he running that way? That's why I wanted.
because of the bird song. There it is.
He's running that way because his walk has become rather silly of late.
I have lost how to knee.
The actual reason is that he's slowly falling asleep.
The birds are twittering. Yeah, but yeah, that's an iconic GIF.
He's
Smith
about ready to morbid.
As usual, Twitter ruins everything.
But anyway, so he runs into a butcher's, and the Dream Lord is there in a butcher's outfit. Oh, hey, how you doing?
I messed up my joke. Tweeting ruins everything because they're not. It's not twittering
I
the bird.
love, I love a good butcher's, don't you? We got to use these places to shut down. Oh, you're probably a vegetarian, aren't you? You big flop-haired wuss.
Is Matt Smith actually a vegetarian? Was that a joke on this?
I don't know.
The Dream will get so many good gags. When the old people break into the butcher's shop, and he just lets them in. He says, "Yes, come in, come in. We've got lots at stake here this week. Lots at stake. Get it?" And he's just wasted on you.
I also love. Oh, wait a moment! If you fall asleep in here, several dozen angry pensioners will destroy you with their horrible eye things.
Yeah.
Oh, fingers in your ears! Brilliant. What's next? Shouting boo! But the Doctor manages to lock himself in the storeroom before he passes out.
And
they wake
back
up
in the TARDIS.
In a very cold TARDIS.
And it's getting very, very close to deciding now. You know, we've decided right here, right now, which is a dream, which is reality, which is the battle that we can lose.
And I do love the Doctor and Rory are saying, okay, which one's real? This one? No, the other one. The other one. Are we disagreeing or competing? And Amy says, competing over what? Oh,
Amy says that.
Yeah, well, Amy says it is according to this.
Yeah, they're competing over her.
They both look at it. They both look at Amy. I mean, yeah, that's basically the subtext going on here.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Amy, you have to choose between your men.
Amy has to choose, but so do they.
Yeah,
because life is at the end of the day a series of choices, some of which you don't even know you've made.
And then Amy does, the most Amy thing possible. Gives them all ponchos and call them both her boys.
Oh. This is another line that has lived rent-free in my head for years. It's just, here we go, my boys, my poncho boys. If we're gonna die, let's die looking like a Peruvian folk band. I am not kidding when I say that line has lived rent-free in my head for the past 12 years.
I'm not surprised. Unfortunately, the Doctor then makes a mistake. He suggests, if we could divide up, like some of us could stay here and then one of us go back to the other reality, we can have a presence active in each world. But, he's switching us between the worlds. He doesn't want us to be separated. Why? What's the logic behind that? Then he just turns up and says, good idea, Veggie, let's divide you up. So I can have a little chat with Amy here.
Maybe I'll keep her and you can have pointy nose yourself for all eternity.
Yeah.
And so he knocks out the Doctor and Rory and leaves Amy awake in the TARDIS.
This is so sinister and lechery almost.
Which...
Saying, Amy, we're going to have fun, aren't we? Ugh.
Amy and Rory, meanwhile, made it back to their house in Leadworth.
Well, Rory has.
Well, no, they both have.
No, Amy's still unconscious.
They're in the house before they pass out.
Oh yeah, all right. So yeah,
and then only Rory wakes up as the house is under siege from old people, and he's forced to lug pregnant Amy up the stairs, saying "Sorry, wump."
Yeah,
sorry,
apologising
wump,
every time she hits the steps.
Yeah,
but he is trying to save her life, so I think he gets a pass here.
You're going to have a nasty bruise later.
Yeah. And he barricades them in what will be the baby's room.
Back with the Doctor, who is also woken up in Upper Leadworth. Inside the butcher's shop, he does something clever with the Sonic, gets away from the old people. One of them is attacking a camper van outside. Man inside the van is begging for help. The Doctor does in fact help him. And others who are being attacked, because that's what the Doctor does. He tries to save everyone he can.
It's interesting that they don't have the Doctor have it be an endless parade of people he needs to save, given that this is is this a dream? Is it reality?
This is weird, though, because, he saves all those people, getting them all into the van, and he shows up in the van with it empty after.
It gets them away from the old people, I guess.
I can actually say this, and it makes sense in context. Get inside the van!
Yeah. But I wonder if that's... I wonder if that's the big clue about if this world is a dream. He saves the people, then forgets about them.
Oh, God.
I hadn't considered that.
That's a good consideration that I hadn't thought of.
That is a good consideration.
Because he shows up at the van later on. Where's all the people?
In the church.
Did he really put them in the church?
Yeah, you see them go inside the church.
Oh.
Get inside the church!
But
inside
I'm going
church!
back. Well, I'm going on to the whole thing where he just forgets about them. I mean...
He does forget about them, and I think you have a point there.
It's interesting.
Then we're going to see that has lived rent-free in my head for years.
Amy and the Dream Lord?
Amy and the Dream Lord.
Now, I pointed this out before we started. But I'll make the point, but please go ahead with the dialogue summary. Because it's great.
In no one minds, I'm going to almost quote the episode verbatim here.
Go for it.
So this is the Dream Lord talking to Amy while this frost is covering everything in the TARDIS now. It's getting really, really, really cold. The only thing it's not covering is the Dream Lord. Because, non-corporeal. So the Dream Lord starts, he says, "Poor Amy. He always leaves you, doesn't he, alone in the dark. Never apologises. He doesn't have to. That's good, because he never will. And now he's left you with me. Spooky old, not to be trusted me. Anything could happen. Who are you and what do you want? The Doctor knows you, but he's not telling me who you are. And he always does. Takes him a while sometimes, but he tells me. So you're something different. Oh, is that who you think you are? The one he trusts? Yes. The only girl in the universe whom the Doctor tells everything. Yes. So what's his name?" Again, name of the Doctor.
Again, and this is a point I will make, not just calling forward to Moffat, but way beyond. We were robbed. Imagine Yaz getting writing like this. Because she's like Amy in this particular scene. She's like, the Doctor trusts me implicitly. I'm the Doctor's best friend. Oh, really? Well, then why does the Doctor keep so many secrets from you, then?
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Why is this your fifth scene in 2 seasons?
God.
That too, but yeah. But you could see Yaz getting a scene like this, where the Doctor is being like, I had to keep the secret of the timeless child from Yaz and all my other dark sordid past bullshit. And Yaz is like, the Doctor keeps shit from me. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That's characterization, which we don't get for Yaz because we gotta focus on those middle-aged white men.
Can you imagine that if the final episode for Jodie ends without her telling Yaz? Because I actually can imagine that.
Of course I can imagine that.
Oh, no. That's how it's going to happen. That's how it's going to happen. Because we're not even going to know what's going on.
Oh, Yaz, by the way, time to shop. Episode over. I'm at Chibnall, and you hear Chibnall's tire screech. I'm out of here!
Man, no, but here's the thing. Here's another thing. I feel like the Dream... I know we're not done with this episode yet, but I feel like they could take this concept and put it into other seasons. I kind of want to see how Capaldi would have faced the Dream Lord. We almost saw how 13 would have faced the Dream Lord, but we got weird finger gods instead.
I kind of vibe with that. Weird finger gods.
And the killer line here is talking about Rory to Amy. Would you really give him up for a bumbling country doctor who thinks the only thing he needs to be interesting is a ponytail? But maybe it's better than loving and losing the Doctor. Pick a world and this nightmare will all be over. They'll listen to you. It's you they're waiting for. Amy's men. Amy's choice. He said the thing. Klaxons. But we then get another fun confrontation between the Doctor and the Dream Lord. Because the Doctor's driving the camper van. Everyone's got out inside the church at this point. And he turns up as the Stig. Why is he the Stig?
I don't know. Because he's in a van?
He's just a racing driver. He's not specifically the Stig. But he's in a racing suit that's peach coloured. He's holding a helmet, racing helmet. The Doctor this time just ignores him, pretty much.
Leave me alone. I need to find my friends. Friends? Is that the right word for the people you acquire? Friends are people you stay in touch with. Your friends never see you again once they've grown up. The old man prefers to come to the young, does he not? And You didn't think I could do it, but I did do it. In this scene, both the Doctor and the Dream Lord are shown in the little dash mirror in the van. That's a Doctor Who mirror alert. Doctor Who mirror alert. Doctor Who mirror alert.
Yes, it is a Doctor Who mirror alert. God damn it!
I told you I'd get it in there.
You did, and I didn't listen to you, fool that I am.
You foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams.
You fool. God, rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. But
you. But yeah. Now, part of that line really sticks with me, given what's about to happen. The part your friends never see you again once they've grown up. Again, it's that Amy's choice binary. You know, never grow up and stay with the Doctor, or grow up, get married, and never have adventures again. Amy's choice.
Oh, that cuts me deep.
Does it?
Well, there's a lot of very deep stuff in this whole episode.
And then we're about to get some really deep bullshit coming.
That thing in particular about the friends never seeing you again once you've grown up. That hits.
That does hit. Yeah, not only is it resonant with the episode, but it's definitely. I mean, I know I had people who I hung around with as children, oh, we're thick as we're like this. I'm holding my hands together. Oh yeah, and now it's like, oh yeah, we're all grown up, and I talk to these people in years. Oh.
Yeah, same. And I'm sure most people listening to this will have a similar experience.
Oh, that's depressing.
That's just how life is. I mean,
that's just how it be. Yeah.
The key is to find the people that you won't move away from, that you won't lose as you grow up.
Exactly.
How did this turn to a life advice column? Good God. So now we get the really, I don't want to say the really dark scene, but a really shocking scene at the time. Because it's the first time that one of our companions dies. Chronologically.
And it won't be the last!
No. The man who keeps dying over and over and over.
It's the first time Rory Williams dies in Doctor Who. And he dies like what? He's at like 6 or 7 times.
It's been 10 minutes since I last died.
He dies twice in this episode.
He does.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
He does. Technically, he does.
He dies in a couple episodes.
1, 2, 3.
Technically, to cause Big Bang 2, he dies again.
He dies here. He dies again later on in the episode. He dies in episode 9. He dies, but it's a fake-out death in Day of the Moon. As does Ariane River. He nearly dies in Curse of the Black Spot. He's shown to die in Doctor's Wife. Yeah, he just basically dies a lot.
And the Silents get that line in Wedding. Rory Williams, the man who dies, die one last time.
The man who dies and dies again.
Yeah, which is really fucking wild and cutting.
Like, good God, we cannot keep this guy down. We have got to step up our game here.
Yeah, his actual last name is Winchester.
To be fair, the Silents can't keep the Doctor down either, which is what creates all their fucking problems.
Yeah.
But that's the fucking that's an essay for another time that I've written a long time ago. But anyway, yeah. So the Doctor gets up into the house with Rory and Amy, but one of the ladies breaks in and Rory tries to knock her away, but he gets got with the dust breath.
Yeah, and he disintegrates.
He's dead. He's fucking dead.
His final line is, "Look after our baby." And Amy is just distraught by this.
Save him.
You save everyone. It's what you do, not always. Then what is the point of you? Now, in the shooting script, which there are bits of this that didn't make it into the episode, and I'm kind of glad, because there's always parts of the shooting script that don't make it to the finished product.
Okay.
Now, according to the shooting script, she rubs the dust on herself like she's trying to hug it. And she's rubbing it into her hair, and while that's really dark and would fit the scene, kind of glad I didn't make it into the finished product.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a little bit of a tightrope there between. I need to tangibly feel the last remnant of Rory, and it be looking really silly, like she's getting her hair all dirty and shit.
That's probably why
I
it
mean,
was
they
cut.
kind of did that in Avengers.
Yes,
Spoilers.
that's probably why it was cut.
Wow,
No,
spoiler.
you're saying you gotta remember that Avengers movie came out like 10 years after
No, I'm
this
talking about
episode.
this scene in Amy's
Yeah.
choice was probably cut because of what he said about it being a
And
bit
hey,
goofy.
who was in Avengers? Karen Gillan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she was.
But
She's crushing it in Hollywood right now.
oh yeah, by the way, early on,
Almost like it's good luck because she almost ruined everything with Selfie.
Yeah,
hey,
I know that story.
hey, did you guys? What was the name of that fucking movie? Oh god, I got to look this up. Yeah, you guys see that movie Oculus with Karen Gillan?
You know I did because I
Mirror.
I recommended it to you
mirror.
before before the Spectre Jane Campbell reared its ugly head. I recommended that film to you.
I did it for Halloween. Anyway, let's get back to.
So yeah, Rory is dead. Rory is dead, and Amy doesn't want to live anymore.
But what if this is reality? Well, there's no life without him that is real to me.
Yeah, we got to really focus on this because before Rory died, he cut off his ponytail for Amy, and then she grabs it and she's, yeah, like you said, it's just like, this is the dream. This is definitely the dream. If we die here, we wake up. Unless we just die. Either way, this is the only chance I have to see Rory again. Are you sure? I mean, this could be the real world. I know, because if this is real, I don't want it. This can't be the real world. Rory isn't here. Give me the keys to the van.
Again, that really resonates with certain people, I'm sure.
And they get in, and she takes control. And she's got the van. She's like, I love Rory. I never told him, and now he's gone. And I guess the content warning goes here.
Yeah, here's your self-harm. Here's your self-harm right here.
Because faced with a world without Rory, Amy decides that this has to be the dream, and this is her only chance to see Rory again. And so she and the Doctor commit unalive by driving the van into the house.
Commit unalive. Again, it's well done. You don't see too much. They hit a couple of the old people, the old Etnidine people, and then they just crash into the cottage.
Amy, even as they're walking out, they're doing nothing. She's like, why aren't they attacking us? And the Doctor is like, because they know what we're about to do.
Either this is just a dream, or they know what we're about to do.
Which, yeah, and Amy made a choice, and she chose Rory, and so they crash the van, and we cut back to the TARDIS, which is all frozen, and they wake up. The Dream Lord shows up. Oh, good job! Congrats! You chose this world. Good work. You got it right.
I hope turn on the heat for you.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed your little fictions. It all came out of your imagination, so I'll leave that fact for you to ponder with.
I love his delivery of this final line here. I have been defeated. I shall withdraw. Farewell, and he just vanishes. Another thing that was in the student script, which kind of gives away who he was a bit too prematurely, he throws a Satsuma to the Doctor.
Oh.
Just before he vanishes. Again, that's a really neat callback. I kind of see why it didn't get filmed.
Yeah, that spells it out a bit too much. But...
Absolutely spells it out, but I would have liked to see that.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, so everyone's okay. Amy and Rory are hugging. Rory doesn't know what happened to him in the dream. And it's just like, oh, okay, wow, we did it. Great. Excellent. Well, what are we doing now, Doctor? Oh, I'm going to blow up the TARDIS.
Again, self-harm warning. You don't see too much here, really.
It's like, oh, a cold star, do me a favor. The Dream Lord doesn't have any power with the real world. He was offering us a choice between two dreams
also,
all along.
Crucially, he said, do you notice how helpful he was? Yeah, okay. He was threatening us. He gave us misinformation. There were red herrings. I could have done without the limerick. But he was always keen to make us choose between dreams and reality. So he was actually between two dreams. How do you know that, Doctor? I know who he is. And the TARDIS goes kablooey.
And they wake up in the TARDIS.
Yeah, everything vanishes
and they're back in reality.
in a big flash of white. And they've survived. They have made the right choice. It was 2 dreams all along, Alston.
But how did this happen?
They made a mistake. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong song. Psychic pollen got into the TARDIS from the Candle Meadows of Karas Donslava. How the hell they came up with the name, I have no idea.
Better than Ranskorath Kolos.
Just, take some dice with syllables on there, roll them. Okay, yeah, that's our today's planet. All right.
God, I can't wait for the adventure of the planet on Lorem Ipsum.
that can actually be a meta story.
That could, actually.
But anyway, this pollen got in the Time Rotor and heated up and induced their dream state, and he blows into space, and then Rory asks, "That was the Dream Lord then?" "Oh no! Wasn't that obvious? The Dream Lord was me. It's a psychic pollen, a mind parasite. It feeds on everything dark in you and gives it a voice and turns it against you. I'm not 107. It had a lot to go on, so it's like." It is a dark reflection. It was a dark reflection of the Doctor all along, which...
All right. And again,
First
Doctor
of
Who
all-
Mirror Alert.
Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert. That's Doctor Who Mirror Alert number 2. But second of all, we've been talking about unaliving, and the Dream Lord is like, that bad, anxious voice in your head that tells you all the bad,
No, he literally outright said you have to kill yourself.
A negative thought gremlin, if you will.
I'm going to use an analogy that people that have suffered from mental health issues and depression will know. The Dream Lord is the black dog.
Yeah, there you go. That's the metaphor I was looking for. I call it a fucking anxiety goblin that's in my head. But that fits too. It takes many forms depending on the specific mental health issue that you deal with. But he's that. He's every dark thought you've ever had about that shit in your worst moments. That's what he is.
Indeed, he is.
Yeah.
Negative
And
thought,
also,
and black dog.
Can we pause for a second?
Sure.
I just got this show up on my Facebook page from the Doctor Who page, the fan page. New alert. According to the reliable source from The Mirror, Matt Smith is to make a return as the Doctor in the 60th anniversary.
Okay, firstly, the Mirror is not that reliable a source. Secondly,
Oh, I just want to laugh my ass off.
of course it would be the Mirror. As we're talking about a Dark Mirror of the Doctor, of course it would be the Mirror.
Is this going in?
Oh, it's in. It's in right now.
We're in. Christ, I don't know.
But anyway, we also get an interesting explanation for why the Doctor chooses some of his companions. Sometimes he doesn't, of course. Sometimes they are not forced upon him because that's like no agency, but circumstances bring them together. And he says, "Well, what if it fed in the darkness on us? I would have starved to death. There's no darkness in you."
I choose my friends with great care.
Yeah. And that's kind of a recurring theme because the companion characters tend to be seen as the stereotypical good person, don't they?
The best of humanity.
Yeah, they have their flaws. They have their foibles.
I love fucking Clara, and look at her.
Yeah,
Clara betrayed the Doctor once, and she acted like the whole world was over.
Yeah,
like that's how pure she was. She did one bad thing, and it crushed her.
And that's probably why he kept her on.
God, I'm having the feels again. But
if she'd had no remorse, he probably would have jumped off the TARDIS there and then.
Wait, where are you going? I told you we're going to hell. Oh, I thought you was something. No, what?
Yeah,
that is unironically like one of my favorite scenes in the Capaldi era. I gushed about this when we did our redo, but oh my.
yeah, you finally got to exercise that particular demon, didn't you? You were grateful for it.
Yeah, speaking of dark demons that lurk in your psyche, yeah, I got to kick that one to the curb.
Thank goodness.
But yeah, the denouement of this episode, then, Amy is just like, but you don't really believe all that shit the dream was said about you, and the Doctor just deflects from himself and says, right now a question's about to occur to Rory, and the answer's about to change his life, so you should give him your full attention. And Rory's like, wait a minute, well, I know the TARDIS blew up and ended that dream, but what ended the dream in the Upper Ledworth? And Amy explains that they had to crash the van, but where was I then? You were already dead. Oh, but how did you know it wasn't a dream then? I didn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then they start kissing.
And the episode ends. Where to now? Or shall I go down to the pool? And Rory says, I don't know. Anywhere's good. I'm happy anywhere. It's up to Amy this time. Amy's choice.
Title drop, Claxon.
Yeah.
And that's the episode.
Well,
no.
not
We
quite.
also wait. Yeah, we have the Doctor staring at a reflection of himself. Oh my goodness! A third mirror alert. Is this
For
a
God's
record?
sakes!
Doctor Who Mirror Alert. Doctor Who Mirror Alert.
But there's this whole thing where he just stares at his reflection, like, what kind of man am I? Am I the Dream Lord, or
You hear, I don't know if this is on all versions of the story, but I distinctly remember a very subtle evil laugh coming from the TARDIS console.
I didn't hear that.
Like sort of chuckling. Maybe it was just like I imagined it, but it would certainly fit this scene. But yeah, and this hints at the darkness to come, the darkness that is implied. Like a good man goes to war, the name of the Doctor, all of that. The idea that he's blood soaked in a billion battles.
Yeah, Rain. There was an evil laugh at the end, and Berenstain is spelled with an E.
Oh, stop
God.
it! Stop it right now.
Also, I don't know any other Mandela Effect stuff. I'm not going to say the main one because that's a little too dark for this. But should we get into the final thoughts then?
Yeah, so before we do, make sure you watch the movie Shazam starring Sinbad.
Okay, there's one. If I may?
Yeah, you go first.
For it.
I love it, and I really love the agency that it gives Amy, and I love all the flash forwards. I didn't talk about a lot of them, but the main thing is that Amy chooses Rory, but that doesn't mean the choice that the Dreamland presents her is, like I've been saying, the choice between never growing up or growing up and getting married and abandoning that childish notion of traveling around space and time with a weird bow tie alien, right? And as with so many Moffat stories and other stories that I love, Amy finds the third option. She's like, why not both? That's a better story. I can get married, I can commit with my husband, and we can travel through time and have adventures. And he supports me with that, and I'm totally fine with it. I don't have to choose between these men. I don't have to choose between this life and that life. I can have them both. That's my choice, and that's my agency. And the way they just portray it by having her go through this trauma of losing Rory and realize how much she cares about him, because she has been a little childish and running off to Never Never Land the night before her wedding forever. But that makes her realize, oh, this is important to me. I do care about this. And we've been talking about Angels Take Manhattan, but that's exactly how their story ends, isn't it? It's like she chooses Rory. She'll always choose Rory.
You know what would have been even more cruel?
Oh no! What?
If the Angels zapped her to a different time.
Oh, that'd be no.
Thankfully, we know that didn't happen because of the epilogue.
Yeah, that didn't happen. But thank God it didn't. But I mean, in the end, it's exactly the thing. She chooses Rory, and she chooses death, just because that's the only way she'll be with Rory again. That's how deep their love goes. And it does echo forward to Series 6, where Rory and Amy are going to have a baby, but then space shit takes away that baby and causes them trauma. And yeah, it's a fantastic episode. It definitely gives a lot of great character for Amy, which you should hope so, considering she's in the title, but also Toby Jones is fucking fantastic in it. Arthur Darvill's great in it, too. It's, the more I watch this, the more I really was vibing with it, considering everything I know and love about the Matt Smith era. So, it's a winner. You picked a winner, Rainiac.
Finally! It happened!
And that's all I got to say about that.
It finally goddamn happened. Do you want to go second, Kuchiri?
Sure. I think this is probably one of the most important episodes of Matt Smith's run. Because this is the cornerstone of, like what Fresno said earlier. This was the third part of a trilogy of Amy getting very forward with the Doctor trying to save Amy Rory's engagement, and then her choice, which then leads on to later on. You know who she really wants at this point, but then when Rory disappears from time, and she forgets about him, that adds a lot more, I guess, pain to it.
Which they play off of in Vincent.
Yep. And this also leads into all the great episodes of Series 6, the Doctor's Wife, with the whole scene of the two of them in the TARDIS, like, her losing Rory and Rory hanging her and stuff like that. This also goes into The Girl Who Waited. This also, because Rory had to make a choice at that point too. This goes into, basically the Power of Three. This goes into, Angels Take Manhattan. This is probably the most important episode of Matt Smith's run before Clara.
I can see where you come from.
And it's great. It's a great episode. I wish they brought back the Dream Lord. As I said, I think, having a weird dream episode occasionally where, you could even make it a running gag. How does this pollen keep on getting into my ship? Gotta change the filters out. Something like that.
It's very different in tone and style, but Last Christmas is a good dream episode.
True. Imagine if the Dream Lord was behind that.
Well, I don't know how that would have worked, but
But it would have been cool to see how different incarnations of the Doctors create different versions of the Dream Lord.
Last Christmas isn't really about Capaldi's dreams so much as it is about Clara getting over Danny.
Yeah, and it's a great episode. That's a great episode too. But then when I got all excited about the season 13 episode with the dreams, it was really cool. I'm happy that it dealt with
mental health issues and stuff.
Yeah, just kind of like how this would have tied in greatly with this, but then it was all about finger demons.
And name dropping like all sorts of eternal stuff from Doctor Who. I mean, it's a Chibnall episode, so it's not like top 10 but I mean, I found it good. And fun fact. Well, I'm just thinking this. Can you hear me? Is the last episode as of now that does not have any returning villain or character or any shit like that. Just to show you how far it's been over 2 years for Doctor Who, and everything is.
Because series 11 was 2018.
Yeah, but that was the last episode that didn't have any returning thing. Like, they all had the other bullshit in there. Like,
to finish my point.
Go ahead.
I would have loved to see like Tilda Swinton as the Dream Lord for Jodie, or something like that.
That would have been great.
That would have been great to see the two of them play off. You could have done scenes with Yaz with the Dream Lord. The Dream Lord could have done a scene about, hey, you're not going to have Grand Forever Ryan and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's clear that all three of us could have written better series 11, 12, and 13, but that's beside the point. Anyway.
You done?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Oh, no. Rain, before you go, I just want to say I refreshed Twitter, and there are people speculating that Neil Patrick Harris is the fucking toy maker.
I wasn't
I
going to
mean, it's
say
on his
that.
belt.
I wasn't
It's
going
on
to
his
say
belt.
that. But...
Yeah, he has.
Rainiac, put in your scream right about now.
Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you. That's mood. Anyway, please talk about Amy's choice.
All right. Well, you've done a lot of my work for me, you two. But I did pick this because I wanted to pick one that I thought everyone would actually enjoy and not find problematic. And there are a couple of slightly iffy elements to it, but I think I have actually succeeded.
You did it.
And I'll go further. Amy's Choice is a modern masterpiece. Is it the best episode of Series 5? That depends on your opinion. I think, given that it's the same series with the 11th Hour and the Pandora Opens in it, no, it isn't. But that doesn't mean it's bad at all. I mean, Series 5 is stellar from start to finish, pretty much. What this is this is your midnight of this series. This is your blink of this series. This is the episode that makes things a little bit different and really runs with it, and it really works because of it. It's not a Doctor Light or a Companion Light, but it may as well be. In certain ways it's filmed. And the low budget really does actually help it out, funnily enough. I didn't even think it was a low budget episode until you sort of started talking about it. I thought, yeah, you know what, that makes perfect sense. Also, Toby Jones is one of the best guest stars of this entire series. The Dream Lord is a fantastic villain. And yeah, alright, we find out at the end he's a speck of pollen. But that's not it. He's not the speck of pollen. He's the dark thoughts in your mind, in anyone's mind, that can be turned against you. That is terrifying. Just imagine all the murky terrors of your brain coming to life one day and being turned against you.
Thanks.
Sorry, but
that's the reality that literally everyone's struggling with mental health issues.
But just imagine that in a sci-fi setting. Just imagine that coming towards you. How would you act? How would you react?
You'd shit yourself.
And that's Amy's choice here. That's what the choice is. It isn't just Amy's choice, it's everyone's choice. You know, do you stay where you are or do you move on? Do you let go? And in the end, Amy makes a choice that is neither. Well, she makes one choice and then a different choice is made for her.
In a way, that choice is difficult. Like, speaking from experience. It's
absolutely.
Hard. Yeah, no, I mean, a few weeks ago, I asked to take a break because I've been fighting some demons, you know, and yeah, it is a dark, hard place to get out of once the darkness comes in. Yeah.
Didn't mean to bring that up again, I'm sorry.
That's all good, no. I'll be fine.
Wasn't trying to open up fresh wounds or anything like that. But the dialogue is on point throughout, the acting's on point throughout. If you haven't seen this, do yourself a favour and watch it.
If you haven't seen this, we've spoiled the shit out of it for you by now, so.
Alright, if you haven't seen this for a while, do yourself a favour and watch it again.
There you go.
There you go. Okay.
And don't be afraid to reach out if you ever do need help for stuff like this.
Absolutely not. A problem shared is a problem halved.
It's not a weakness. It's a strength and coming together and all that jazz.
Okay, so that was my choice, was Amy's choice. What's Kuchiri's choice? And am I going to like it? The answer is probably no, but please go ahead.
I'm remaining optimistic.
You shouldn't.
I think it's time to get this out of the way so it's not always hanging over everyone's head. We're going to do the arc finally.
You see, I said I was going to be optimistic. I gave you the chance.
Well, here's the thing. Jerry, I know your particular objections to this episode. You can sit this one out.
I'll think about it.
I mean, the thing is, I think it would be also good to have a discussion about its themings, because I know you have one view on the theming, and you've heard my takes on my view of it, because I didn't see your view. But that's the thing. That's why there's four of us. We all have different opinions sometimes.
Considering that I have caused this with my stupid April Fool's Day joke, I think it's only fair that I take the L on this one.
Well, and the thing is, it could lead to a good discussion. That we may all not like the episode, but the theming, especially for an episode, you know, in the 60s, just having a good discussion over it could still be fun, even if you don't like the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I where you're coming from. I may sit down with it for that because I know that you have a different read on it, and the reads are valid. I mean that's what I'm about is the weird Gonzo sort of reads. Like, I like what's the fucking episode that I like that nobody else likes on this thing?
Survival.
Survival. Yeah, I liked Survival, and you didn't really. Yeah, but I mean that was your first McCoy. So.
I didn't mind Survival.
Mm. And how I can't think of any other examples. I kind of like Kill the Moon, and half of y'all had to get over the illogic of the
It's
space
so
dragon.
bad. It's so bad.
I know.
Here's a good comparison. I like Empress of Mars.
Yeah,
I like Empress of Mars, and not everyone else does. So
Empress of Mars is, but what other things? Oh yeah, where I kind of vibed with Orphan 55 at the time.
Okay, well, I already said I'll take the L on this. You don't have to keep dragging it out, okay?
I'm just giving.
No, but the thing is, think of this positively. We'll have a decent discussion about what the themes really were. We don't even need to talk that much about the episode. We could just speedrun it.
That's fair.
I like that. But I mean, yeah. The main thing here, the main objection, if I am on the thing, is I think, given the way I've read various pieces on the episode, and then actually sitting down and watching the thing for myself, I think that the arc is kind of racist and colonialist. And Kuchiri did not see those readings.
I didn't see the readings. I see the arc as more of like a Palestine-Israel kind of conflict.
I kind of see it more from Jerry's perspective, but I'll watch it again, see it changes my mind, because I've never thought.
Well, or now this is probably to be even more topical, the Ukraine-Russian conflict.
Oh
now.
God.
Yeah. I mean, the main objection, and we'll probably get into it next week, but the main objection I have with it is that parts 1 and 2 of the arc are, oh, hello, we're these white people, and we have this servant class of aliens, dark-skinned aliens, called the monoids, and there are slaves. Well, I'm using the term strongly, but I don't know. I haven't seen the episode in a while how strongly they go with it, but they're a lower class servant class.
They're lower class, but they're less slaves because they're not like being dragged around chains. They help out. They're more it's like again, they're not slaves. What's the best way I can say it?
Lower class.
They were conceived as not like the race couldn't like communicate well, so they don't have abilities to have like voices. And then you find out, spoiler alert, that when they're given voices, they are smart enough to take over the other race.
And the reading that I take from that is, oh no, we shouldn't liberate and give the oppressed people any power because they'll immediately turn it back on us and oppress us. And that would be no good. Oh no.
But when you get to the final episode, the planet they're all trying to get to is like, no more conflict. You guys are living together peacefully. Which is what some people are trying to do with the Palestinians and Israelites right now for Israel, trying to keep it all peaceful, have them both live there.
Both sides.
Yeah, they're trying to make sure like it's not one side over the other, which that's why I see it. You know,
that's an interesting read. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. We'll find out. You know. But in case we don't, we had that little. That's our point of view on the thing. For now, whether or not we expand on it next time with me there, I'll
well, now that our point of views are out, people who are following the podcast can now watch the episodes to see which side they believe more.
Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, if you want to spend 100 minutes on a 60 serial and make up your mind, you can, I guess, if you got the time. But well, we'll save that for the discussion of the next time. And Brainiac, where can you find us, lovely people?
You can find us on Twitter at ReviewsDoctor. Individually, we are at Rainiac the Maniac, at the Kuchiri, at Freezing Inferno, and can't come with us this week, unfortunately, but she's at Concave Usurper. You can also find us individually on Twitter, twitch.tv/the Kuchiri /Freezing Inferno or /Concave Usurper, and soon to be joined by my Twitter, my Twitch handle when I finalise what it is, because there are plans in the offing for my channel.
Ooh.
Which I'll talk a little bit about now, because by the time that the next podcast goes up, it might have already been done. I'm planning to stream Fall Guys on either Tuesday or Wednesday next week when it goes free to play. Might be Wednesday just to give you guys a chance to, get the game and get it installed and maybe get a few cosmetics. But I don't want to leave it too long because I want to go basically have a blind impression of the new rounds. And stream that.
I'll be there.
That's fun. I'm probably getting back on the streaming horse too. I've got a couple other little doodads I'd like to stream. I'd like to do a Master Duel stream night. I know I've been doing a lot of the videos on the thing that hopefully, because I've got the internet of a potato, so I've always been self-conscious about how it looks when I'm streaming and shit. So if it's not a blurry pixelated mess, I'll probably play some card games live like that.
I've been working on 100% Ocarina of Time. I think since the new PlayStation Plus thing came out, I might go into Wild Arms Blind because that's one of the games that's on there. Nice classic JRPG with achievements.
And in writing news, well, first of all, I will say once again, By the Towers Through the Trees by Sean Dillon, and the aforementioned Back to the 11th Hour, Volumes 1 and 2 by Chris McTeer on Amazon.com. But also, I have published some words on the day of recording. I've started another project on my blog, Fresno'sRavingrants.blogspot.com. It's called A Quantum Microcosm Adrift on the Sea of History. And the introduction post is out now, and it is going to be the long-awaited me watching and talking about every episode of the 90s sci-fi show Quantum Leap, starring Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell. And in the intro post, I basically just lay into every goddamn betrayal that sci-fi's ever done to me for a couple thousand words, just to really set my the scene for me coming into the show. And part 1 will hopefully be out sometime this week. I don't know if it'll be out by the time the episode's up. If it is, Rainier will give you a link. If not, you'll get a link next week. That's all the self-promotion from moi.
Good. Just to finish my point off, you might see a couple of changes to the channel in the next couple of weeks, as I tried a few things out.
Adding some Kamen Rider for future Kamen Rider podcasts.
I'm probably going to split the channel up into 2 separate ones, one for the podcast and one for other stuff. Because if I'm going to start doing streams, I need some place to store them.
I mean, you still got the branding of a Let's Play channel left.
Yeah, also, I kind of got a comment that kind of didn't sit well with me, which I'm kind of doing a couple of things just to spite that person.
Oh.
The best kind of motivation. Oh, behold, the last game he will ever play on his channel. Yeah, mate, you're not right.
It could be weirder. Someone found my very first video from 2006. It's like, you have the oldest gaming video on YouTube. Thanks.
My favourite YouTube insult is still, you sound like a game show host.
Oh my god.
I want to be a game show host.
I saved some fucking weird comments that I got from back in the day. I still have around. But I got a comment on like a 12-year-old video of me beating a boss from Sin and Punishment, and it helped them beat the boss. So that's fucking wild.
Say goodnight, Rainiac.
All right. Voice of the speaking clock. Good night. Join us next time when we finally, for realsies, discuss the Ark.
I might not be here, but we'll find out. It'll be like a cliffhanger, kids. Will Fresno endure 100 minutes of the monoids to debate the Ark with Kuchiri?
Hell, we'll can't do that. We'll just be me and Kuchiri on our own.
And I will have the entire floor to myself.
True penance for my dumb April Fool's Day joke. Oh boy, if isn't the consequences of my...
It would be like Robin Hood all over again.
Oh, look over there. I hope so. Look over there. If isn't the consequences of my actions. coming home to roost. See you next week, guys. Until then, bye for now.